We definitely encourage all our athletes to yell at each other, inspire each other, and it really pushes you because the adrenaline's pumping in that moment and you're just like really ready to go.
Uni cheer has changed dramatically since I started. People definitely get around it a lot more. It's also grown quite a lot. I remember the first competitions that I went to, I think there was only 3, maybe 4 universities competing. Now there's quite a lot more.
We are a very performance-oriented club, so the focus of the season is for every competition be better than the last one, like actually improving ourselves after every competition.
I've always wanted to represent a club of some sort in like a national stage.
Competitions are kind of the end game for what you're working towards, and they're really like where you want to show all that dedication and hard work that you've put in for months and really show the world like what you've got.
At the last training that you have, it's all control. You can manipulate things, you can change things, but once your athletes step on the floor, that's it, they're on their own, and you have to just wish them the best of luck and just cross your fingers and hope it all goes to plan and hope all those months and months of training all works out for that 2.5 minutes.
Doing like the last full out before a comp, pretty late at night, everyone's pretty tired, they've been working really hard, but just knowing that like that's the last time and everyone's really proud and really prepared, that's like a really favourite moment of mine.
The other thing with competitions is you really need to prepare yourself going into them.
Personally, the week in the lead up, I have to be like super organised because a comp takes out like a whole weekend.
For comp, I like to make sure I'm organised the week before, make sure everything's pre-packed.
Really making sure I'm like fueling my body right for the comp, being prepared, like having all my meals and my snacks ready to go.
I try and get a good night's sleep the night before because I feel like that's really important.
My first competition was Winterfest.
When I got there on the day, to me it was massive. Like
I was just like blown away, like the sparkles and glitter.
I was nervous. I don't think I knew what to expect, and we'd been given like tons and tons of information about like meeting times and like what to wear and what to bring.
You walked in and I was like, what have I gotten myself into?
Something very different with these competitions is that we actually have warm-up mats behind the actual competition. So you'll actually go through a warm-up process of, stretching, running your stunts or running your turns and marking through the routine and making sure that you know where you're supposed to stand. It's really nice to actually have a warm-up floor behind the actual competition because it helps ease you into it and definitely helps calm your nerves quite a lot.
My favourite part of competitions as a coach is the warm-up. I love taking the teams through the warm-up and just yelling at them and being like, come on guys, you can do this. Just have so much fun with that as a coach.
I think my coaching style in training is a bit a harder coach, and I have really high expectations on the floor when I'm here. That's not the place for that type of coach on the competition floor. I'm a lot calmer, I'm a lot more encouraging, which sounds horrible, but it's all about getting that mind space and getting that right place and getting through it.
So in the warm-up mats, I think it's more so you don't want to stress your athletes out.
Like walking through that as a team, the warm-up mat and like really getting the team vibes up. Yeah, that's really helpful for charging up all the energy to get on stage.
And I really love the moment where the athletes are in the chute just before they're about to go on. That's typically when I try and do a bit of an inspirational speech to get everyone pumped up and working together really well. And
I think you really come together as a team in that moment.
Having like a big circle before we go on, a pep talk from Margarita is always just so inspiring, and then as we move out there, it's like you just feel so proud to be Monash and just so excited to perform.
I love the excitement of the athletes coming to the competitions. I adore seeing the reaction to their routines because they feed from the audience and they feed from that energy, and they have their energy on the stage as well.
And then you get on the floor and you do a great routine, and when you hit your stunts, it's just this feeling of celebration and relief.
There's nothing like the roar of a crowd when you've hit a stunt. It's just there are no words to describe it. You feel automatically energized and you feel like you can do it, you can push, and you can really get that adrenaline pumping.
You've worked so hard
for however many weeks, months, and then you get to show everyone what you've been working on.
It's just insane, the energy that you get, and it's so different to anything that I'd done before. My first performance with MONCAD was almost terrifying, like the way that everyone like yells at each other on stage, but just the energy that you get from everyone like between your team on stage and like from the audience, like it's just the most exciting experience, like every time.
Walking out there, I had no idea just how many people were there until I actually stepped out onto the floor. It was so supportive, so loud, so many Monash people that were there to see us, and being able to put a routine as well on the floor that basically summarises and culminates everything that we've trained for in that whole year.
One of the scariest parts about these comps is that after all these months of training, it's just 2.5 minutes to show them what you've got. And there's no redos, there's no second chance.
I love seeing them being like so inspiring and getting on the stage like with that willing to go, like that happiness.
There's nothing like putting out an amazing routine that you've worked really hard for. All of our different competitions that we do, including our local ones to our international ones, they're all the same. You feel the same energy, the same adrenaline every time you get out there on the floor. At MONCAD, we do a range of competitions throughout the year, ranging from local to international level. In 2018, we won the bid to represent Australia at the World University Cheerleading Championship. We represented Australia in the Team Hip Hop, Team Pom, Team Jazz, Pom and Hip Hop Duo, and also Premier Large Co-ed divisions.
I'd never think that dancing at a university could take you to that level. Like, I had no idea.
It was pretty surreal experience to go from not competing ever in your life to getting to represent Australia.
Uni Worlds was really fantastic because of the supportive environment. We all sat around the floor as we competed and cheered on for each other. It was probably the most supportive comps I've ever been to, which I really didn't expect.
But once you get to an international stage, you realise just how many teams there are out there and just how good some of them are and how hard you need to train.
There's a lot more energy and passion, I feel, in the room. People stay late, you know, we've finished training and we've done a bazillion fallouts and people are still drilling their turns or their head springs or something in the routine.
It had hit but not entirely hit until we were all at the airport with our suitcases in our Australia jackets, like as a team, that we were like representing the country in something that we're all so incredibly excited to be a part of.
It was amazing just kind of seeing the talent that's there and just knowing that you can be there to represent your country and that you've worked so hard and you've finally gotten to a point where, yeah, you can do it.
You know, there was like the cultural exchange, so you swap like small things that like represent your country with other countries, and everyone was just so like friendly and chatty, and you know, they wanted to know like all about Australia and we wanted to know like all about how it was where they came from.
Beck, vlog time, what's going on?
Oh my god, this is intense.
Who are we seeing right now?
I'm not sure, but we just said hi to Team Japan.
Japan?
And we just saw Team USA warm up, and that was really intimidating.
Yeah, right. They're big dudes, hey?
Yeah.
I can see them slightly in the back there.
My favourite moment would have been when it was the medal ceremony. They were reading out like first, second, third, and realising that Australia was going to have placed second in all of the dances.
Being able to maintain like all of those positions on the finals day was just really amazing.
The University Worlds experience is so incredible and you can't really compare it to All-Star. It's on a different level. Even teams like Team USA, who are so incredibly talented, are behind us and they told us, you guys have the most heart we've ever seen. To hear that from massively successful teams is just really empowering and exciting.
Being a part of a club that's able to send teams overseas and actually do really well and be proud of their work is something that I'm like happy that Monash has been able to do.
The MONCAD comp experience isn't just about yourself. It's really about putting the best on the floor with your team and just enjoying those moments that you know you can never get anywhere else.
I like actually competing with my team and being on the floor and like performing in front of everyone.
Really about, you know, that club experience, supporting one another.
I have friends on other dance teams, watching them do really well and perform, and it just gives you a good feeling.
When you walk out onto the stage and you see like the massive sea of t-shirts and like all of MONCAD is just like screaming, like it's just, you get the most insane energy, and being able to support the rest of the club and having the rest of the club supporting you is just insane.